y'all?
What's going on, y'all? We back with another Weed Question Wednesday. It's your host, Tay.
And Lex.
So today we're going to talk about, we have product review, and then we're going to have going to our current events. And as you all know, this month is women, all about women this month, specifically women in cannabis. So I'm glad to have Lex on the show. And listen, this is her time to shine, just to get a woman's perspective in the industry. So I'm very excited to hear what she has to say today, and for our upcoming Weed Question Wednesdays as well. So we do have a couple of exciting guests coming on the show in the upcoming weeks. So no further ado, welcome to Weed Question Wednesdays.
Yes, welcome, guys. And like he said, it is Women's History Month, so we are here to really kind of highlight and celebrate some women that are doing the dang thing in cannabis. So, you know, myself, I work in the cannabis industry, and it's not easy at all, but at the end of the day, you do what you love. And I'd say that's for anyone, anywhere, with anything, but with being a woman, you know, there's a slight edge to it. So I'm excited to kind of cover it all. And I didn't know if we wanted to dive straight into the product review. I feel like that's...
So I was gonna just touch base on a couple of events that's coming up. So we have Women Grow has an upcoming event, and I guess that's coming up on March 8th. Cannabis Lobby Day on March 8th. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And then tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Clubhouse, they're gonna have a convo on cannabis and conflict.
Yes.
So so I briefly saw it, and I guess cannabis and conflict on. I guess it just basically talks about like how everyone can just get along, and you know what I'm saying, enjoy cannabis with no issues involved. So pretty excited to hear more about that as well. So I definitely encourage everyone to check that out.
Yes, I Married My Weed Man. If you guys do not know them, please check them out. They also are one of our sponsors. Additionally, Reset Wellness. They have a wonderful business, but they have a great story. They really do touch on cannabis and conflict, especially being a couple. They have great experience in regards to not only relationships, but you know, in personal relationships, romantic relationships, familial relationships, literally all types of conflict. So it's going to be exciting. Tune in.
Definitely. So did you want to get started on the product review? What do you have for us today, and exciting people in the chat?
Can't wait. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us. In regards to our product review today, I'm really excited. Excuse me. Just started choking on air. Don't know if anyone ever has that happen. That's really random. Sorry. Okay, so for our product review today, we are going to be covering a woman in the industry, someone that I love personally. She is a cannabis influencer based out of Chicago. Her name is OG Afro Puff.
Okay.
So for today's product review, we are going to have OG Afro Puff's CBD hemp pre-roll in here. So as you can see, this is the label. It is really, really cute. It comes in a nice glass container, and it has cork, and then it comes with a single pre-roll in there. What's really nice is that everything is labeled on the front. You see it comes with its own little QR code. Do you know what the QR code goes to?
I'm not sure. I'm interested to learn.
So if you take the QR code and someone loves my nails. So if you take the QR code and scan it on your phone, it will actually take you to the information of the flower that is in the pre-roll. So really, really great. You have it on the go. You don't have to keep up with paperwork, things of that nature. Though she does send you a copy printout of it. Don't let me misspeak. I I believe if I'm getting that right. But if you do lose that information, like I clearly did, if she did, it has the QR code, which will tell you how much THC, CBD is in it. And of course, it's hemp derived. So it's going to be a product that has less than 0.3% THC. It does follow the standards on the front. It tells you exactly who she is. OG Afro Puff is an Illinois hemp marijuana brand featuring premium indoor grown hemp CBD marijuana flower. So saying marijuana, that is because it's technically marijuana sativa. Don't want to throw anyone off. It is hemp derived flower. All of our products are processed by Indo High Organics LLC and grown in an indoor cultivation center in Colorado Springs, Colorado, or Galesburg, Illinois. Okay. And as I mentioned, all flowers are 0.03% THC or lower. And it says at the bottom, scan for lab results if you forget what to do. But just as a little shout out, like I said, her product has some great, or she partners with some great people. She's very, very intentional in everything she does, even just starting with the packaging. Like I said, it is glass and it is cork. With that, she sends some cute information that is still intentional. She tells you how to reuse and dispose of the pre-roll packaging because this cannabis industry is full of waste, in my personal opinion, as a patient. It's a lot of plastic, things that you can't reuse again. So she's very careful in what she chooses to use. And what's even nicer, she gives you a nice little playlist so you can smoke something, listen to something while you smoke with it. So it's really, really cute. 4 little songs, nothing overwhelming, a nice little variety. Yeah. But again, this is her product. She works with Indo High Organics, like it says on here, which is a little shout out to them. She is an AKA, OG Afro Puff is an AKA, and she actually works with a line sister who owns the company Indo High Organics, and it is a Black woman-owned USDA hemp processing company, and she works with a minority-owned farm, as mentioned on here, in order to source the flower. So it is very intentional in every way, shape, and form. That is my little highlight of a woman in the industry. Like I said, OG Afro Puff, you can find her at OG Afro Puff on Instagram. She is based in Chicago. She works with Chicago Normal. Additionally, she likes to grow. She advocates for patients to grow. So definitely go check her out if you want that information, or if you want to purchase some nice locally sourced hemp flower that benefits.
Yeah, so we definitely got to get her on the show one day. How much does this typically cost? Like, what are the ranges?
So this pre-roll, I believe it was like 15. I don't know why. I completely forgot that part. But yeah, it's
with the packaging and everything that comes with it. I think that's a good, reasonable price.
Exactly. It's very, very reasonable. You know exactly where it's coming from. You're really paying to support someone for caring about you and what is going into your body at the end of the day. And it's a gram of flour that's in here. It's a nice long pre-roll. And I got 2 of them. I already had one, and I'm waiting to consume this one on a beautiful day. The weather's getting better. So, yeah, I love her products, very reasonably priced, and I imagine she will probably be coming up with more stuff in the future. So tune in and look out for her.
Definitely have to tune in. So can you explain to the people the difference between like a THC pre-roll and the CBD, just for those that don't know or not aware that you can actually smoke CBD as well?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. So THC and CBD, those are cannabinoids that are both present within flower, marijuana, weed, cannabis, what have you. So those are cannabinoids that are present within the flower, and there are tons of other cannabinoids, but those are the main ones that you typically hear. THC is tetrahydrocannabinol. That is what is responsible for giving you that high feeling, that euphoric, stoned feeling.
Right.
Then you have CBD, which you are hearing about a lot more, which doesn't give you that euphoric high feeling. Instead, it gives you, when I worked in a dispensary, what we used to say is not how does it make you feel, it's what do you no longer feel? Like, what was something that was bothering you and you thought about constantly, and now you don't really notice it? So pain, anxiety, things of that nature. So CBD has a lot of different benefits, health benefits, same as THC, but, and it stands for cannabidiol. Just FYI, since I said
okay.
But ultimately, it is just another cannabinoid that doesn't give you that high feeling, but it's just as good for you.
Yes.
And usually,
I definitely, definitely think you guys should check out CBD. It's been, I think now in the culture that we in now, it's being more popularized and accepted. I know this past year I have seen it in a couple malls. They have like little kiosks or CBD stands. They don't necessarily sell flour, but they sell a lot of like creams and stuff of that nature. So I definitely think you guys should check it out if you are looking for alternative, other than taking like pain medicine or pain pills, stuff like that. Just give it a shot. I know me personally, I have put my grandma on, and she loves it. So she don't be taking a lot of her pills and whatnot. So she put a little bit on her arthritis or whatever, and she be good to go. So definitely think you
Yeah, no, CBD is great. And I think the other reason that it's becoming a bit more popular is higher concentrations of THC are usually found in marijuana, weed, what is illegal and found on the street, where most people are finding this CBD, it is being sourced from hemp. So it's basically the cousin of marijuana, or the cousin of cannabis, or still, it's weird because they're both cannabis sativa. I'm being too technical in my head and I'm going to confuse people, but ultimately CBD can be found in higher concentrations in hemp. And that's that's where you're finding the product that is legal on the street or in stores. I'm messing all of these words up. Sorry. But that is the biggest difference. You can find legal CBD. You can't find legal THC, truly.
Yeah.
So.
Sad part. But
one day.
Yeah, one day. I think we're seeing progression to that. So one day it will come. So we're gonna move into our current event section. So since it is Women's Month, we will get into just recognizing all the women and ladies that do a great job in the cannabis industry. But for the news article that I have today, basically stating that in New Jersey, the NAACP is charging that the state's Cannabis Regulatory Commission. They're basically saying that it's illegal because they don't have a black man on the panel, which is pretty weird. They have a white woman, a white man.
Is that weird or is that normal?
It's normal, but it's like, why?
It's problematic.
Yeah, definitely. They do have a black woman on the panel, but they don't have a black man. So what they was proposing is basically saying that it should be illegal to even have the commission even running at this time and point. But they do propose that either they should either kick someone off or either add 2 more spots. If you guys in the comment section could, write your thoughts down below, and give us your opinion. Should they kick someone off the panel or add 2 more spots, to make room? Leave your comments below and let us know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I'd be curious for people to weigh in on that. Like, how do you personally feel, Tay? Like, as
me personally, at first I was like, why would just kick somebody off? But it's like, you got to be equal at the same time. So I would say not add 2 spots, but just add 1 spot. Just add the black man on there.
How many total spots are there?
I think it's supposed to be 5. I want to say 5 or 6. 2. Yeah, it's 5. It's 5. So because there's only one black.
There's 5 right now, and they're looking to add
either add or subtract, one person. Me personally, at first I was saying maybe just subtract one person and add a black man, since he has been the most hurt for the war on drugs. I think that would be fair, but at the same time, you got to be equal for all parts. So just add one more person. I wouldn't say add 2, because then you're going to be going down that road to is like everybody's going to have their hand out. So everybody in each culture, like the Asians or Indians, they're like, well, what about me? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should have a seat at the table. So that's how I look at it in my perspective. So,
Yeah. I think that's interesting, though, to say only a black man because he's been the most affected by the war on drugs. Because at the end of the day, I also do believe that women get affected by it on the side, not directly, but they still are impacted by that war on drugs. So it's kind of hard to say like man versus woman, and it's Women's Month. So I don't know, maybe I feel extra for that reason, but I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. Like, what is the current makeup of it? Is it that detrimental? And someone just asked, how does the size of this committee compare to others? And I think that's a great question. Like, is 7 really too large, or is it representative of the population? Like, I think that's where you really have to ask these questions. Who's on there right now? If it's all white individuals, then
yeah, it was definitely a good question. But I don't know. It's not really weird. It's kind of like at this day and age, it's kind of like, all right, we already know what it is because we just been through so much, so especially this past year. So it's like we just get left the crumbs. But at the end of the day, it's good to see a black woman on there, because I think, in my opinion, black women, they have a very powerful voice, and they definitely stand up for what they believe in. So anytime a black woman is like speaking in a room, I feel like she grabs all the attention. So, power, shouts out to women that is on the council, and I hope she does, speak her mind, raise her voice, and that's the difference.
Sorry, so I misheard you. There's a black woman currently on there, and then there's a black man, and then everyone else is.
So it's like a Latino woman, Latino man, white woman, and just only a black woman.
Black woman. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, then I completely understood that for some reason.
Yeah, so that's why they were saying maybe they either should take somebody off or add 2 more spots. And then I was just saying, like, they just add 1 more spot and just add a black man just to keep it equal.
I would be curious.
It's pretty weird that, saying the black man was left out. So,
yeah. 2. That's weird to say 2, though. I feel like it's easy to say no to 2. And that's, yeah. Now I feel that is weird. Now I see why you use the word weird.
Because like, how do you like miss that? Like, I don't know. How do you miss that? It's just.
Is it just us guys? Like, do you guys think that it is weird? What do you guys think would be the ideal, ultimately, to fix and rectify this situation? Because ultimately, this is New Jersey.
Yes, New Jersey, and they just made this commission in February, like February 24th. So this is like fairly new.
It's very new. They just legalized. They literally just finally got the legalization pushed through. This just goes to show it's always a continuous uphill battle, no matter what you do, whenever you're a person of color, especially a black person. You always have to fight. Just because something's legalized, it doesn't mean that's the last fight. There's always more. There's always something more.
Yes, I mean, we definitely want to give a shout out to all the ladies out there that did vote on and help get this commission started. and to be
Mhm.
able to have a seat at the panel, have a seat at the table. So that's really big. And shout
Yeah.
out to women out there, women empowerment, for making a big step, especially in the cannabis industry when I know it's male dominated. Um,
Yeah.
from what
Yeah.
I've seen, especially in the dispensary when I used to work, a lot of the ladies they know their stuff more than men, but it's kind of like they don't really respect their opinion, I would say, especially like the patients. Like, what I'm saying, a woman that might tell them a certain type of strain that they might need or think that's helpful to them, but then they're standing there over the counter like, hey, bro, do you think she's right? Or what do you think? What's your opinion? Like, why can't you just accept, what I'm saying, or just agree or just trust that she's telling you the correct knowledge?
Yeah. That's actually super real. I remember that happening to me in the dispensary too. It's people just come in and they know who they trust. But they typically tend to side with men. But that's a whole societal thinking that we just really have to change and reconsider. Because I think some of the biggest movers and shakers in this cannabis industry are women at this moment. You have the people who are speaking on panels and testifying to make sure that these things are legalized, like the Dashida Dawsons and the Hope Wisemans, and you have people out here really advocating, like the Amber Centers, and I can continue going forward, but they are all necessary, and you have people constantly questioning you and telling you that, can you do it? Are you sure you're the one that's meant for it? Or, someone else saying it to you outside of who's in front of you. It's tough. It's tough.
So, but it can be done, like we have Marianne Mayne, so I think that's she will be kind of like a pioneer in the area for just having her own dispensary. I think that gives a lot of hope.
Sorry, for those of you that are unaware, Marianne Mayne is a dispensary. We've had her on here before, but if you're just tuning in, Marianne Mayne is a dispensary found here in the area. She was by Hope Wiseman, who I just mentioned not too long ago, and she was the youngest dispensary owner, youngest Black female dispensary owner at the time, but youngest dispensary owner in the nation at 25, I believe it was at the time, and she's had it now for, I think Bouquet was actually at the grand opening, and that was 2018. So she's going on 3 years, and it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, so I definitely give big shout outs to her. So we also want to shout out a couple other women that's in the industry. Also, all you guys know Khadija Tribble, who is the founder of Marijuana Matters. Also, vice president of the corporate social responsibility at Curly. So I'm definitely proud of her for getting that position just last year. That made a big step. I know she will do great things and bringing in more jobs for, the minority community. Then we have Chanel Lindsay, founder and president of Arbident. So you want to give a shout out to her?
Oh, of Ardent?
Yes, Ardent.
Yeah, love Ardent. I need to get me one. I want to say that I need to get me one.
Definitely. I'm gonna definitely check her out as well. So who else do we have? Let's see. We have Gina Monroe. I want to say I hope I'm not messing her last name up. So she's the president of Women Grow and founder / CEO of GVM Communications Incorporated. So Women's Grow is a national professional network with the mission of educating, connecting, and empowering diverse leaders across the Canadian and American cannabis industry. She's equipped by nearly 3 decades of public relations experience. Gina oversees day-to-day operations, internal and external communications, educating, programming, and strategic partnership for the company. So she has, she's really, really up there doing big things. In 2012, she founded GVM Communications, a public relations brand and business development consulting firm. So GVM serves corporations, nonprofit speakers, authors and entrepreneurs, both in and out of the cannabis space. So she's definitely doing great things in the industry. So
yeah. Shout outs to her co-founder. I believe her and Jane West. I want to say it was Jane West who's the other co-founder of Women Grow.
yes.
Absolutely.
So we have all this information on the Marijuana Matters page. It's called Women Behind the Movement. Women's Behind the Movement.
Yes,
So you can find
please check out our page and see it on there. And you can, as Bouquet likes to say, give people their flowers. Please tag them, check them out, give them their flowers on there. You can never tell someone good job enough. It makes doing our jobs a little bit easier, gives you motivation to keep moving forward, doing what you're doing, knowing that you're on the right path. So please give these women their flowers while they are here.
Definitely go check that out. That's the Green Light blog. Definitely some great information on there. So we just shout out just a couple of women in cannabis, but we have others on there, so we're gonna give you guys a chance to go in there and read that yourselves. Great information, and definitely opens your eyes to what women are really doing out here, and they're making a difference. So definitely give that a chance and check that out as well.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the rest of this month to see what it brings and all the dope women that we are going to cover.
Definitely. So definitely, you guys. Our next two exciting Weed Question Wednesday shows are going to be very interesting because we have guests that's coming on here. Also, Marcus is going to be doing something spectacular, new, branching out. He's going to be doing, I want to say, like he's going to be doing dispensary tours, talking to the dispensary owners. So I'm just going to give you guys just a little sneak peek of just what he's going to be doing. He's going to get on here maybe next week and explain, explain what that's all about. But that's just another step and another moving piece in the Marijuana Matters community. So that's enough content. There's new content for you guys to check out. It's definitely going to be really fun and good to see. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I believe he's doing the next time he's going to be doing his first dispensary tour. Should be in the upcoming next 2 weeks, I believe. But that it will be on Wednesdays. Other than that, he will be doing dispensary tours throughout the week. We don't know which day it is, so it's very flexible. It could be on a Saturday or maybe on a Monday or something like that. So just be on the lookout for that. So it's great.
It's gonna be a pop-up.
Yes,
pop-up, but we're used to that pop-up life, aren't we?
So definitely be on the lookout for that. So and the dispensary, I believe is a woman as well. So that's going to be really
cool. History Month, of course. All women this month. It is so exciting. He will definitely be doing some pop-ups, changing it up. As you can see, he is not here with us tonight, and he is missed. We miss him. We know you miss him as well, but he's gonna come in and do his own thing and surprise y'all with something different. We're switching it up. He is, like based in Massachusetts at the moment, so we're kind of showing you more areas of the country, which everyone wants to know. What does marijuana look like near you? So we want to let people know what it looks like around the country.
Yeah, definitely. Because not everybody knows what inside a dispensary even looks like or what their day-to-day operation is. So that gives us a chance to show you guys what that process actually looks like and what goes into the daily business practices or what goes on in the cannabis industry. So that's a lot of great information. You guys to learn from, take notes. If you want to start your own dispensary, you get a lot of great information from there just to see what type of routes and type of moves that you need to make that happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. We are a wealth of knowledge here. We have so much information that we are just wanting to give to you and even show you. So we're excited for you to tune in to the next Weed Crush Wednesday so you can really see what we're working with. What is marijuana working with?
So I have a question. So for the ladies out there that want to get in the cannabis industry, what are some tips or any inspiration or talks, or I want to say any I don't know, any tips on what they should do, what they should look out for, or how they should just move around and to be successful in the industry?
It's a good question.
Or what are some things that you might have learned that could help the next woman coming up?
I think for me personally, being in this industry, it's going to sound super silly, but like, just tip is don't give up and keep pushing. Cannabis is really like the Wild West. You are going to come across all these different personalities, people who can potentially promise you anything, everything. I would say, don't take a no. Follow your gut. First off, follow your gut and just keep going on, keep going. That's the main things I would say. If you want it, be tenacious and go for it. That is kind of my tip. I know that's super duper basic. Yes, post the questions. That is smart. I'll definitely try and do more of that for you guys. Thank you for the feedback. So just, can you repeat the question, Tay, quickly?
What are some tips or any knowledge that you can give to a woman trying to get into the cannabis industry?
Yeah. And I think something we also talked about during this last week with Saturday Smoke was your skills are transferable. That is a very big thing. If you are a woman trying to get into the cannabis industry and you don't know what to do, you feel lost. Honestly, what do you do now? What do you love to do now? What are you good at now? If you can do that in any other private sector world, you can transfer that over into cannabis. It's, like I said, the Wild Wild West. Most people haven't started really anything yet. It hasn't taken off. So You could be the first. You can be that person. Just go for it. And don't let people tell you no. Your dreams are not crazy. I think that's another thing. A lot of people like to call women crazy very quickly. Your dreams are just that, dreams, and follow them. Go for them. You're not crazy. You are just a dreamer, and you deserve to have dreams. Men have all the dreams in the world. We deserve to have dreams too.
So do you think women get the same amount of respect as men do in the cannabis industry when it comes to like just basic knowledge of the products and like the terpenes and stuff like that, and just how they give out information? Do you think they're more respectable than their counterparts?
Obviously, all of these opinions are my own, but
you know what? I'm gonna just ask you. Just
at the end of the day, I don't think so. I think as a woman, you really have to prove who you are and what you are. As a man, though, they also kind of have a different way of going about things. Men usually talk like they know something. Even if they don't know something, I've learned that being, especially in the cannabis industry, I've come across so many people who just talk like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. But then you listen to them and it's like, they actually don't know what they're talking about. But people like confidence. Confidence is key. And I'd say sometimes a woman can potentially question herself because she doesn't know how she's going to be perceived, how she's going to be taken. And that can be taken as she doesn't know what she's talking about. So I do think women can sometimes have it a bit more difficult of a time. I think men are also used to seeing how men operate. So when you see a woman do something that is not what you're used to, you think that it's wrong. You think it's, it's different, so it can't be right. And as a woman, you constantly are having to show, just because I'm doing something differently and you're not used to seeing it, doesn't mean it's going to breed results and breed positive results at that. So I'd say I do think that women have it a bit more difficult. And I think sometimes, I think at times people may not be as, I don't know. I'm trying to say this. I can't think of the best way to say it, but I think sometimes men will say to women what they wouldn't say to other men, if that makes sense. I feel like
Definitely.
it would be more negative and aggressive towards them, but they know they wouldn't even come out the side of their neck to say that to another man. Like, they wouldn't cross lines because they know another man might step to them, whereas a woman may be a bit more taken aback. So I think it's very different. And yeah, I think women's actions are frequently questioned, whereas men's actions aren't. It's something like, does she know? I have to constantly prove myself, where I don't think as many men have to prove as much. Yes, men have to absolutely prove themselves, but they don't get questioned nearly as much.
Definitely understand that. So leading into that, let's talk about maybe like either like the harassment in the workplace. Maybe you have like patients that come in the job and you know saying nice looking lady as yourself, and you have those patients that's always just saying doing weird. I want to just talk about that and what are the challenges with that and how do you kind of like maneuver, do it without being disrespectful about it, or just trying to take yourself out of that uncomfortable environment.
Yeah, I think that one is so hard and so difficult when it comes to patients. I think it's a lot, I don't want to say simpler, because it's more so a get in, get out. Like, they're not going to be there too long. And at the end of the day, you also don't want to mess up your money. Like, and if it's a dispensary that tips, you may even just be like, I know he may tip well, but it's definitely very, very awkward. And sometimes if a person makes you so uncomfortable, I know I've worked with women, we will ask other men to go on the floor instead. We see a person come in and we go hide. And we're like, oh, no, this is you got it? Okay, thanks. And, I'll be like, I'll take the next one. I'll take the next 3. I don't care. But like, can you take that? And I think that it's very hard to navigate, but it's weird. It's very weird, but you make it through. I think that's part of being a woman. For me, I am 6 feet tall. For people that don't know, I am 6 feet tall. I have kind of always looked like a woman, and this has been a constant struggle for me in people thinking that I'm older and approaching me when they shouldn't be. And, you just have to learn how to kind of say no, decline, and set those boundaries for yourself. If someone makes you feel uncomfortable, at some point you do kind of, I didn't really appreciate that. Like, you really just have to know who you are. If you're not comfortable with that, you have to work to change it. But this is present anywhere. If you're a waitress, that's going to happen anywhere. Additionally, I will say it happens even when you're in positions of power too. In one of the places that I was working, there was a guy who, I'll tell my story after, but Tay, if someone was speaking to you inappropriately and making you uncomfortable, how would you handle it? I also think part of it is that women can express that they don't want to continue talking.
I say me personally, I would just kind of like wiggle my way through out the situation. Because me personally, I'm very chill, I'm very nice, so I never really come off as aggressive. At the end of the day, I would ask somebody else to kind of like handle it. I would step back from the situation and ask maybe a manager to handle it in some sort. That way they can take action and maybe ban them from the store, maybe a couple months or permanently from that location. But I think that's the best way possible for me specifically is just to let upper management probably handle it, especially if it's in the retail space, I would say.
Yeah. I think that becomes difficult though, because she then continues on to say, we can continue, we can express that, but then it's also taken as us being emotional or too sensitive. And that's the flip side of it, because it's not just that person. You then can work with people at the dispensary who will think of you now as like, oh, you couldn't just handle, oh, you're sensitive. It's not as simple as that at times. You want to pass it on to upper management, but then will upper management want to lose that money too? Do they actually care? Do they receive what you say? Thank you for that question. I think that was good. And thank you, Jay. That was a great answer. What I was also saying in regards to even just being in other positions, I worked with a person also who I was over, and they were older than me, but they would talk to me and they would always end with like, oh, hun. They would ask like, hey, can you do this, hun? And I'm like, first off, I'm not a fan of nicknames. I don't like those things. Like, if you want to know my name, if you want to call me something, call me my name and I'll tell you. And so, I was like, would you please mind not calling me that? And they were like, oh, it's just a habit. I do it to express that I'm like, oh, okay, I totally understand that. I respect that. But I would really appreciate if you didn't call me hun, because I'm also your superior, but I would really appreciate if you didn't. I didn't say the superior part, but I would appreciate if you didn't.
Yeah, so I was going to definitely get into that, especially because it can actually happen in the workplace itself. Your colleagues, but saying, young lady, maybe your coworker may find you attractive, and that's kind of like, I can't really speak for it in like on a woman's perspective, but I can only imagine how hard it is trying to be kind and trying not to really crack and really tell them about itself, like back off, So it could be an advantage and a disadvantage. I mean, because it happens in retail in general, but in the cannabis industry, as hard as it already is for women, I think that's another milestone or a stepping stone that women have to overcome.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. And so the way that I kind of got through that one was literally like 30 seconds later, a guy was there and he asked him to do something. And, he didn't say anything. He didn't say bro, bruh, blah. He literally just asked. And I was like, so quick question. Would you ever accidentally make the mistake of, like calling him hun? He was like, of course not. I was like, oh, so you can actually know how to differentiate between when to say it to a person and not. Oh, he was like, oh, I guess you're right. Oh, yeah, thank you. And he never called me it again, ever.
Yeah, it does happen. Like, even though, when you apply to these jobs and it says all this stuff in the contract, behind closed doors and, the CEO is not there and it's just the manager. And sometimes the manager could be super cool and all the employees, how it is on the job. All that stuff kind of goes out the window at the end of the day. Unless it gets too serious and you have to, take it to HR. But other than that, I feel like women, might deal with it more than men, in a certain extent. But most of the time you might have coworkers just look at you as a coworker, one of the bros, you're just cool, Yeah. And I would love to happen like at every dispensary and in all the retail spaces, just to keep that business and all that other stuff just separated. So
yeah, no, I definitely I talk about that, but at the same time I made some good friends at the dispensary too, and men and women. It's great because you meet so many different personalities from different walks of life. I think that's the different part. Whenever you're in the private sector, the outside world, you can be working in an industry where you're such like minds because you're in this industry. Like if you're in computers, you're coming across a lot of tech computer people and you're all similar. Cannabis, you're coming across people from all different walks of life. You can come from different parts of the country. You could have been into this before you came here. It's so many different personalities, ages, different ages. I worked with a retired nurse at one of my last dispensaries, and one of my favorite people ever. Vicky, if you're there, I love you.
Vicky, you know,
is the sweetest woman ever. Literally, the sweetest woman. Would give you the shirt off of her back. But you can find some great people at the dispensary there. I loved working there, so I could have people to come visit me and say hi, because patient interactions too, you live for them. I lived for them. The patients really do it for you.
Especially when they start knowing you by name, you know what I'm saying? They come all the time, like, hey, what's up, man? You know, I want to see you specifically. They're waiting everything. So definitely love that. Working at the dispensary, especially with women, they're pretty dope, man. Like,
we care. We try and really put that love and that feel. Like, cannabis is already about the vibes, the energy, but I will say some of the women that I have worked with over the past few years, they really want to connect with you, get to know you. So it's, how can I help you? It's how are your kids doing? How's your family doing? Like, it's so much more than just you coming in and you getting your medication. We really want to be a part of your wellness entirely. And women do such a great job naturally, connecting. We're kind of raised as caretakers anyways. So I think it comes through. And that's not to say that there aren't male, bud tenders, wellness advisors, whatever you want to call them out there. They absolutely are. But there are some great women out there who are doing a phenomenal job at connecting with these patients and really getting them what they need.
Okay. Yeah, so this is definitely a great conversation. This is just the start of, you know what I'm saying, weeks to come for Women's History Month. So we just wanted to kick it off and talk to Lex, come on here, share her information about women and cannabis and get her opinions on, what she think on what was her take on her stance on certain issues. So I thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope to see you on our next couple episodes. It's very going to be interesting. You don't want to miss out.
Yes.
I want you guys to definitely check out our website. We do, make sure you help us out and donate. Go to the page, and the link is in the bio. We're still going to be on StreamYard every other Wednesday. So definitely, we go to Instagram, definitely hit the link in the bio. We should be live on Instagram too as well. I know we are on Facebook and YouTube.
We're crossing our fingers.
So we're trying to work on that. And then we also got our new shirts in.
I know you see it. I know you see it.
So I'm not sure if these are on the website yet, but we're still working on that. If not, you could definitely just go on the website and check. Thank you guys for tuning in. And this is just the start of Women's History Month and all the information, great information that we have for you guys. So definitely you want to tune in. Also, we have a couple of boot camps coming up. We have the Minorities in Cannabis Boot Camp Fund for budding Canada entrepreneurs who are wanting to establish a business.
Entrepreneurs.
And improve their new business. Applications being accepted until March 20th. Go on our Instagram bio link to apply. So when you hit the link, it should automatically take you to the application itself. So you won't have to click through a whole bunch of pages to find it. One click.
3.5 weeks, y'all. Put your applications in. If you have thought about being in the cannabis industry, you think you have this great idea, you really, think that it is for you, and you just don't know how to get your thoughts together. You don't know how to streamline. You want to potentially work on getting a business plan together. Mm-hmm. Please apply. You have 17 days to do so. March 20th.
Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for tuning in, Michael.
Thank you. It is something that you want to be a part of. The boot camp is going to be phenomenal, great. And I'm not just speaking to say that. I truly mean that. You have wonderful people heading this up and getting us on the right path.
Definitely. So we want to shout out our sponsors as well. Roll a Bouquet, Reset Wellness. So we will have I guess from Reset Wellness on for Women's History Month. So that's what I want to say, you guys. Y'all gotta tune in. You gotta tune in. She's gonna share what's going on in her business, and she's gonna give her take on certain issues as well. She's gonna give her advice and definitely, check in, especially the ladies out there. Definitely tune in and check us out and see what we have to offer.
So. Yeah. Absolutely. And just to kind of go back to what we had said in the beginning, going back to events coming on right after this, if you want to support Reset Wellness. Also, I Married My Weed Man. She is coming on Clubhouse to talk about cannabis and conflict. So absolutely tune in. And additionally, remember that Women Grow has an upcoming Women in Cannabis Lobby Day on March 8th. Looking for, I guess, in regards to their legalization. So definitely, please go support March 8th and tonight at 9 on Clubhouse, Reset Wellness. We love you.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We out.
Peace. Yes. Thank you. Be well.